Okay, and welcome to the soloQue podcast, episode 22. Again, where I just play on words. I try to see if I can carry myself for at least 30 minutes on my own 2 feet. Speaking of 30 minutes, I need to make sure that I actually set my timer. There we go. Okay. So yeah, Sunday. Um. So the first thing on the list is talking about some new Twitch stuff. I guess that came out. I don't know. I think it's been over the course of the past month. The newest one I think they said was called a desktop app. Now it wasn't exactly what I was thinking. Wait a second. So from what I can tell, the desktop app of Twitch is really just like a Curse plus Twitch integration, which I'll be honest, makes me kind of wish for a little bit more. Because from what I can tell, is again, it's just like Curse, but with like now it's officially supported by Twitch. And honestly, I'm trying to think about what makes it any special. I don't know if it has some sort of special functionality that integrates directly with, being on Twitch, watching anything or chatting or any of that jazz. I don't know. And looking at it, it just like my biggest thing about Curse is one, it's gotten far more complicated than it really needed to be. Two, it just kind of is relatively in your face with like a lot of hey, you can go do this. I'm like, I don't care. Just let me do what I want to do. Also, some of the stuff is kind of unintuitive. I swear to God, I looked around and an actual coherent friends list, even an offline's friends list, was not really. I couldn't locate one. So now they actually have this one thing, and what I was hoping for the desktop app was, well, pretty much what I started to use I didn't use it, but I downloaded it just yesterday. It's called Chatty. It's how do I put it? It's pretty much like an IRC chat that interfaces directly with the Twitch API. That just means that's the well, actually, I should probably look up exactly what API stands for so I can remember off the top of my head because I don't remember off the top of my head. API. API stands for Application Program Interface. Oh, okay. Just talking about those words, it means it allows other programs to work with other programs. Let's just see. If I actually pull up the Wikipedia, it says the purpose is just as a graphical user interface makes it easier for people to use programs. Application programming interfaces makes it easier for developers to use certain technologies in building applications. Yeah, so it's application building, and people use it to, well, work together with other programs, which is all I really care for. This main chatty feature, its main thing is it brings up the chat by default, but it has a series of other things that you can view, like there's an always on top option. That's awesome. But there's channel info. There's admin. What's the channel info do? Oh, that's cool. It legitimately tracks like status, what you're playing. Currently, I'm doing this thing. It's labeled under talk show, and it also tracks viewership when they come and go. That's awesome. Online status, also channel admin. So from this point, I can also update my stream title and game. And I like that because it means, for the most part, most of the stuff I want to do, I won't have to. I will not have to go to the main page because I don't want to have to go to the main, stream page in order to do all this stuff, right? I would rather just close one of the browsers because I tend to have multiple windows open or tabs open at the same time, and it ends up creating a lot of clutter. And the funny thing is, this free stuff, this free application is just better, it seems, and literally allows me to track just a lot of other stuff, channels, favorites, history. It actually allows, I think it allows you to connect to other chats as well. That's cool. Um, Extras like followers, live streamer. No idea what that does. I haven't explored every single aspect of this just yet. Stream chat. Huh. Anyways, there's just a lot of stuff, and that's all I was really looking for. I wasn't really looking for anything to interface with other people. I already have Discord for that, and Discord isn't really in your face with anything. The only thing I don't really care for is the consistent memery every time you log in, which is just meh. It's kind of annoying after a while because, like, memes for the sake of memes, kind of lame if you ask me. Oh well. Um, I don't know. Just whenever it seems like whenever Twitch decides to go do something, it's generally not something that's too useful, or at least something that is not incentivized for people to use. Kind of a weird way to put that. But think, what was the most recent one they did? I don't know if it was implemented just yet, but it's called Twitch Pulse, and I think it's changing around a way to change around the front page. You know what? I should probably just look that one up because hope this doesn't make a lot of noise. Let's see. Yeah, but what all this does, oh, it brought me to a user page. Not what I really care for. Okay, so Twitch Pulse. What is Pulse? Pulse is a tool for broadcasters to interact with their followers in a new and meaningful ways. I don't really care. I like the word meaningful, but man, it's in very specific um areas. It sounds kind of bullshit. Give me a second. But let's see. It is a single place on Twitch where broadcasters can post content to all of their audience, and viewers can engage with their content on the go using text, video, images, and links to connect with their audience. Broadcasters can their audience and followers even when they're not broadcasting. I'll be honest, I don't know because I've already watched the episode that the streamer JP, he has a show he calls Broken Frames. I think it's kind of like a podcasty thing, although he doesn't call it a podcast. Although I think it might be. It doesn't have to have the word podcast in it for it to be one. If anything, this one's technically, I don't know if I would consider this one a podcast, even though I have the name in there, just because I'm not talking about anything relevant. Just random shit that comes to my head. But this is saying about posting their, content and engaging with it. I'll be honest, it might just be better if people go find the YouTube stuff. Well, it's also my experience that I don't generally care to interact with much else outside of the actual broadcast. I mean, some people might, but it seems like there's just a whole lot of other stuff, and I don't know. And also, the next thing is, I don't know if it was because I think the one thing that they brought up, and I don't know if this is on the Twitch side, not on the Twitch side, on the streamer side or the broadcaster side, but the main problem that they have is, one, I think they remove some aspects of the page, like the normal main page, which makes it kind of cumbersome, and you have no ability to customize it at all, which, think about it, makes people want to use something more because if you can customize, your feed, well, that'd be awesome. Huh. Customize your feed or something like that. How's this different from channel feed? Are different ways, sorts of posting, blah 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 blah. Video works, functional posts. All this stuff just kind of seems relatively done by other stuff. A lot better. It reminds me that believe it or not, I think YouTube has some type of forum that nobody knows about, which is hilarious. Yeah. Let's see, drive engagements. I don't know, just whenever they seem to make a thing, like the new dashboard on the main page is it's a lot better if you ask me. It is a lot better because one, I am able to update everything on the same page. I'm able to view chat on the same page. I'm able to view all my stats on the same page, and I'm even able to go tweet out that I'm live on the same page. With that said, I really do prefer to not be capable needing to open the browser. So yeah, I'm probably going to just do that from this point on, possibly. I'll have to test this out. Going another step onto that, the main function I wish that Twitch would have, and yeah, I know that they had a similar thing to it, but they removed it, or at least it doesn't work for me anymore. Or I think they did remove it, but for me, it didn't work for the longest time. And that was when you tweet or when you go live, there's usually an automatically generated tweet that gets posted to your Twitter feed. It hasn't happened for me in like pretty sure a year. Crazy like that. Um, but on top of that, there's also they have this new thing, a main feed on the main channel, and I don't know if this is meant to replace that, but I primarily use that just as a way to say I'm live. That's the only reason. I don't use any it for any other stuff because I'll be honest, that board on the side of the streamer page is ugly. As I said, I only use it for function over form is the best way to put it. I use it for what it can do, which is I use it as a workaround to post to Twitter, clipboard, post to Twitter, and that's it. I don't do anything else that's really important with it. It's just here I post to Twitter. I mean, it posts to the board as well, but it looks ugly. So I'm thinking really hard. Maybe I will just get rid of that and post everything manually. And that does sound a little difficult. Okay, it's not that difficult, but the difficulty is in the remembering to do everything. Um, but yeah, that's just what I'm thinking on doing, improving pretty much the overall this while still maintaining doing other stuff. I haven't been streaming as much, or this week was kind of all screwy all over the place for one reason or another. I couldn't remember the exact reason why. I think, oh yeah, that's right. The start of the week math was again pain in the butt. I don't think I said that. Anyways, it's always been a pain in the butt. More of a pain in the butt because everything was due on a lot of things were due on the 15th. So I just don't think I streamed it all that day, or I think I actually did at the end. Then I did something on Thursday. You know what? I'm gonna go into before I go into video game format. Just this right here, at the very least. I'm thinking, yeah. After a couple of streams that have gone by, I think I might. I don't know if this is for sure and to some what extent. I might just not worry about monitoring chat as heavy because I do monitor chat, but I'm thinking I think that every time that someone does come in and they do start chatting, it throws me off. Not bad. If anything, it's probably good, but it throws me off a lot. The last one literally just threw me off. Kind of went on random topic. If anything, maybe unless that's something that happens relatively often, I shouldn't really be taking whole new random topics that often. I don't want to just delay the end and have an additional series of like I want to have at least a specific amount of time to have this up. and not just go on forever, because this does have to eventually be uploaded. Um, but for other stuff, like Breath of the Wild came out on, what was it, the third, the fourth? I know I downloaded it on the fifth, and I played a lot of it, but I'm not going to talk about the game itself. I can't remember if I even did yet, but I know that a lot of people are streaming it, and I think a lot of people are making series playing it. But for me, kind of figured something. It might be better if I just wait like 2 to 3 months, or at least minimum 60 days before I play anything new. I don't know, it just feels a lot better if I just don't play the immediately new stuff right now. I don't know. I'm just trying to mess around with stuff because I want to do the streaming thing, but I don't want to take away from what I really want to do, and that is physically create something that is long lasting. For me, streaming seems kind of odd because it is so, what do you call it, fleeting? It's not, it's temporary content, and it doesn't really last around. Like the most that lasts is, what was it, highlights, and even then highlights tend to take out a lot of the overall context for a particularly funny, or I guess you could say noteworthy moment is a better word. Not important, but noteworthy. um that's that for format. Not really much I can say about that. I'm just trying to mess the things around, just like I messed up that sentence. I guess talking about games. So just play Breath of the Wild, or been playing it, haven't beaten it yet. Still plenty of hours in there. Um, that's Gaia 2. I finished that. I do think I'm gonna bring that back every now and then, at least to grind or to show. Here's should have been doing, but I don't think I'm gonna play it as a main thing. I do have to find some other games. I've been looking into some things. I'm not going to say exactly what just yet, but I know there's one that I'm, depending upon how it works, I might end up doing it multiple times. But I also do want to have an actual game to be playing, uh, you know, continuously, right? Like I do like making the longer playthroughs, but I also haven't been doing a lot of like art stream stuff, or technical, or programming stuff, or even just editing or scripting kind of stuff. Which I'm not going to say that the scripting stuff is very important, but yeah. But so I'm looking into other games. Might have to play another either RPG or just something that'll last. Actually, if anything, I need a whole list of games that I should play. But something that can last, and something that I can play over and over and over again. I haven't played Hearthstone in a while. Probably should do that. Um, Going on to other stuff. Well, as I said, not a lot of video games played this week. I haven't played Don't Starve in a while because I think Breath of the Wild took up that part. Other games I played. Well, it's been a while since I played other survival-based games. I played Minecraft not too long ago, but that was because I didn't want to buy Breath of the Wild, so I did, and I haven't played anything else. Not much else to talk about, video game wise. Um, Something else I've been trying to work on. Been trying to, well, how do I put it? My management system. It's more of a project management system than an actual time management system. So I'm not telling myself what and where I'm supposed. It's not scheduling. It's not trying to put this is supposed to be done at a certain point and yada yada yada. No, it's just telling me what everything's going, where everything's going. I do have some time logs for for like class stuff and study stuff. Um, but stuff I'm trying to get into is like, well, one, may I've been starting to use a type of to do application. One is called Trello. It's the only one so far. where it's kind of like you make a whole series of like cards and you put them on a series of lists and you move them around to track progress, which I think is something hopefully that should be very useful for me. On the other hand, I've also been trying, haven't been successful, but trying to make checklists, kind of like streaming. Something about, okay, see if I can put this to words. So one of the main things about like when I go live, one of the main problems is always the tweet portion, right? But if I'm going to be getting rid of that, I think I need to have an entire series of steps I need to do every single, time to make sure I'm ready. I think one of them is to literally have a save file of the link and whatever title or thing I'm doing and post on Twitter myself manually. I don't know how many lists it'll have, but how many items it'll have. That's not something that would probably go to Trello though, because that's like a continuous over and over and repeatable thing. So, oh right, I'm just kind of remembering something like probably make a similar checklist for YouTube. I know I've made a semi-similar one on Trello, but there's a lot of stuff I need to physically turn into a semi-systemized thing. I don't have a problem with that because I know how lazy I can be, and I don't like being lazy anymore. So this is how I'm trying to solve that by literally making a series of lists and stuff. It sounds stupid to some people, but me, I'm like, screw it. I don't mind because I'm not trying to be like a robot. Beep boop. I'm trying to get more of my time put into projects that I want to do. The one thing that's kind of delaying the YouTube video I'm trying to work on this month, that I just can't really get myself to sit down and write it out for more than 30 minutes, and that I have to actually leave the house, and it's kind of annoying. I don't want to spend money. Because when I'm home for the past week and a half, I've just been sitting and doing nothing, taking hours to actually get started on anything. Same thing with math, pain in the ass. But good news is I have started a secondary new video, which should take far less time to make than the previous idea. The previous idea takes a lot more thought to go into it and to accomplish. Well, this one, it's not like it's easy or simple, but the idea's already been fleshed out. So I just kind of have to put it together, and then I don't have to worry about finding assets and stuff. And it should be pretty freaking short too, so editing won't be a pain in the ass as much. Probably still take a while though. Good news is my soundproofing came to not today, I think it was sometime last week. But it was yesterday that I did buy some things like cardboard and tape and command strips that allowed me to just push the I made some temporary, like, some temporary removable soundproofing like pads to put some of them on, so I can plop them on and then just move them around, so that when I do move out of here, I don't have to worry about tearing stuff off the wall. Just remove the strip. They have like a semi-Velcro-esque one for the command strips. Those are the ones you can put on, just remove by pulling a tag. But yeah, I set up my closet as a type of pseudo recording booth. And it's different than most other closets. Instead of having like a huge blank wall in front of me, I do have a like I have some stuffed stuff in front, as well as some of that padding to capture it, and it does sound relatively better, and I think it might be easier to use than the former method, which was still just holding a blanket over my head. Because when you hold a blanket over your head, you do have to recreate how you did that beforehand. And that's a pain in the ass. Total pain in the ass. Um, Unfortunately, that's most of what I have today. I'm hoping to get this up sooner than later. Like, YouTube made one small error. I made one small error that I keep on forgetting to do because I end up making by default all my videos private. And so I upload them and they remain private, which is like, wait, what? Yeah, so the last podcast episode was legitimately just private for 5 days, and it's like, oh god, no, that's terrible. That is terrible. I don't like it. So I gotta make sure to worry about that, and with the next video, it doesn't just remain private too. Holy shit. Ah, yeah. With that, I'm just gonna call it a day. Not as much to talk about. If anything, I really need to get on top of just need to get on top of writing down actual stuff to talk about. Doesn't matter if I keep on track, but I do need a list of things to at least mention. So, with all that, let's look. All I know is just plug the YouTube is up there. D Red Baron. I'm gonna be having a video done by the end of the month. So today's the 19th, which means within the next what 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least within the next 11 to 12 days, another thing should be up. Unfortunately, it might be really short, not what I really want it to be. Yeah. And Twitter, DRedBaron90. Not much else to say. So, second. With all that said, I want to say thank you for watching and have a good night.